Hey YouTube community, and I want to thank you for being part of my channel. And if you're watching this and you haven't subscribed to my channel, just click the link below, subscribe. I try and produce as much great content out as possible. But today what I'm going to do is what's really on my heart today is communicating to you the significance of iron and how this marker is severely overlooked in the conventional system. I can't tell you how many cases I've had, particularly of women, right, that come in and they are anemic or they are subclinical anemic, meaning that you can't, quote, be diagnosed with anemia, but you don't have good iron status. So what is the purpose of having ideal iron status? So if you're suffering from brain fog, brain fatigue, fibromyalgia, GI issues, tendon problems, brain problems, tingling problems, nervous system problems, every problem that you're suffering from, you need to have good iron status. If you do not have good iron status, this can be contributing to your problem. Now, why is that? What does iron actually do? Iron actually gives oxygen to all your tissues in your entire body. So you don't want suboptimal iron status. So you can't be, quote, diagnosed with anemia, but you don't have ideal iron status. What you need to have is ideal iron status, because why is it? If you have ideal iron status, then you have ideal oxygenation to the cells, to the tissue. So we want to take a global picture here and see, is your iron in an optimal sweet spot? Because if it's not, this can be contributing to your problem, your chronic problem that's gone undiagnosed, and it's a simple thing is not having enough, quote, optimal iron. Now, in the conventional system, you have to meet certain criteria to be diagnosed with anemia, but we're really not looking for that. We're looking for subclinical cases. Now, I'm going to show you two different cases here. Now, both of these people, the iron status was never even addressed, and they actually had significant iron problems and could be diagnosed with being anemic. So let's kind of get into this. So the marker I'm going to really concentrate on today is what we call ferritin. Now, what ferritin is this is a marker of iron storage. Iron is so critical that you store iron in all your organs, your heart, your liver, your pancreas. You actually have a storage of iron. That's how important iron is. So when your iron storage creeps down, then the iron that's available in your blood starts to go down. So you have the iron storage here, right? And the storage goes into your bloodstream and produces iron and goes into your red blood cells. But as this starts to diminish and not be sufficient, you don't have enough iron coming out from your storage in your blood, in your red blood cells, and going into your tissues. This is where it's so critical. So I got a couple of just quick notes here. So this is the reference right down here. You can see this is Mayo Clinic. We're going to be talking about ferritin. So ferritin, a ferritin test helps your doctor understand how much iron your body stores. Okay, so ferritin is a marker of iron storage. Now, if a ferritin levels reveals that your blood ferritin is lower than normal, it indicates your body's iron stores are low and you have iron deficiency. As a result, you could be anemic. Now let me just go over this. Iron deficiency, as a result, you could be anemic. So that's a pretty big line from Mayo Clinic. You could have an iron deficiency and therefore possibly be anemic, right? But you could have an iron deficiency and not, quote, be diagnosed with anemia, but running on poor iron status, poor oxygenation status. I mean, it's like if you have a race car and the race car, or a jet fuel, let's say jet fuel, if you have a jet and you need the best jet fuel possible, but you're only putting in like poor jet fuel, you're not going to get the performance out of it. So I found this very interesting from Mayo Clinic. You may have an iron deficiency. As a result, you could be anemic. So it's telling you that an iron deficiency and possibly be anemic, right? So there's huge things here that we need to address. Okay, so let's go on here. All right, so this is an interesting stat. Again, this is where I get this thing. So we have iron stores, right? So we have here men store roughly 1,000 milligrams of iron, roughly 3 years. Now, women, on the other hand, only store 300. enough for 6 months. So what is that telling you, ladies? That's telling you your iron status is more critical than men. Men have 3 years of iron status storage, right? The storage right here. Women, you have 3 months. Now, if you have 3 months of iron storage, and then on top of that, let's say you have a bad gut, let's say you have leaky gut, let's say you get gas, bloating, let's say you're only going to the bathroom like every other day, going poop, you have constipation, diarrhea, then you're not absorbing the iron as well. So on top of having poor iron absorption, you have poor iron status in your body. So this is really interesting. 3 months of iron status for women and 3 years for men. So let's go over your gut. So this kind of gets me to, do you have any gut problems? So if you're out there suffering with any kind of chronic problem, I don't care what it is, but let's focus on your gut. You should be going to the bathroom 2 to 3 times per day. Poop, right? Poop. So if you're not pooping 2 to 3 times a day, that tells you that your GI system's not right. You should have no gas, no bloating, no heartburn. You should be using no antacids like GERD or the purple pill for heartburn medication. So if you have something other than that, okay, 1 means that your gut's messed up, and 2 probably means that when you digest protein and iron, you're not able to break that iron down and get that iron in your storage. So you want to look at your gut to make sure you have good iron status. Now, you can see this is your gut right here. This is iron. This is normal. Let me just change this pen color right here. So this is iron right here, and this is the little villa in your small intestine. So your small intestine has like little villa like this, right? And there's little villa, and then the food particles and iron come in here, and they come in here and they get absorbed into your body. So this would be normal, healthy. This is another nice diagram. You see normal villa right here, nice and tall. Now this is what happens when you have GI system problem. You see how that villa is very small and it's not absorbing your nutrients. You're not going to be getting maximum nutrients, not only iron, but all the other nutrients, the amino acids, the proteins, the carbohydrates, the minerals, magnesium, zinc. All those things aren't going to be absorbed either as well. So to really evaluate your body, to evaluate your markers, you need to have roughly, there's 13 markers to evaluate iron status. 13. So it's not 1, it's not 2, and be honest with you, most people don't even get their iron checked when they go into the conventional system. So let's go over these markers here. I'm not trying to make you an expert in reading labs. I'm just going to go over what they are. So the red blood cell right here, hemoglobin, hematocrit, MCV, MCH, and then MCHC, and then RDW. So these are some markers here, as well as on this page here, these are additional markers. So you can see here that there's 13 markers that should be checked to see your iron status. Is it good? Is it perfect? Or is it suboptimal? So let's kind of go over into this case, and you can see kind of what's going on with this person here. Okay, so let me erase some of this stuff here. All right, so let's kind of evaluate what's happening. So this person here, they said that she is completely fine. There's no problems. Let's go over the red blood cell. You see this right here? She is 4.02. You see the range? So what is that, high or low? That's low. Okay, that's 1 marker. Here we see 11.3. What's 11.3 right here? 12 is the low marker. What's that? She's below normal. She's being anemic. Here's 34.9. This is her status. We want this to be greater than 37. What does that mean? That's below. Guess what? The conventional system never said anything. You're not going to get better unless you have normal iron status. That's just the way God designed our body. We need to have oxygen delivered to our tissues. This is why it's so critical to take a polytherapy approach and look at all the moving parts and get your body moving. You can't look at one thing. This is why there's too much suffering out in the system, is because it's like, oh, one thing. It's never a monotherapy. It's a polytherapy approach. We got to look at you as a human being. And my job is being the conductor. I'm the conductor, the orchestra conductor. I'm looking at all these moving parts, and let's move you this way. If you have gone to a great orchestra, it's beautiful music. Same thing with health. It can be beautiful health. You have to have the guidance and know what's happening so you can start to recover. Now let's go into some of these other ranges right here. Now you can see here, this is with the normal limits. Now here, what do we have right here? We have another marker. That's what? Suboptimal. Right, so we found a lot of suboptimal markers. Now, when we look at her blood work right here, this is what it's going to look like. So this is normal right here, and this would be someone that has anemia. So let's kind of, let's erase some of this stuff here so you can see this. Okay, so what I just want you to show you in this picture right here is what the different statuses look like here. So you can see this right here. This is normal. You see these normal red blood cells. And then you can see this is an anemic condition. You see how they're really small. They're not very red. So this is what's happening. She's in an anemic state. So no matter what supplements you take, no matter what drugs you take, no matter how much exercise you do, you're not going to be feeling better because you just don't have oxygen to get to those cells, right? So you got to look at some low-lying fruit. Same thing here. This is the same person right here. And what I want to show you right here is ferritin. This is a key marker. This right here is the ferritin, right? This is the iron storage marker. The sweet spot is between 40 and 80 right here. This is the sweet spot. So this is the iron storage. Remember I was telling you, the ferritin is stored in all your organs. Now as that starts to diminish, you don't have the iron to come out from your organs into your blood and into the red blood cells, and therefore you're working on suboptimal iron, suboptimal oxygen delivery to your body. So you can see what's happening with this gal right in here. So her ferritin, this is, if you can get one marker, checked out of the 13, ferritin is, in my opinion, the most important marker to get checked to see your iron status. Now, there's a couple caveats on that, but I don't want to get into that. But iron is the most important marker. The ferritin is the most important marker. Now, look at this here, the saturation. So what is this saturation? You see this marker here? She's at 15 to 50. That's normal. She's at 15. So what does that tell you? That tells you, let me change my pen right here. This is telling you what's happening here. This is a red blood cell. So the red blood cell, this would be 50%, let's say. 50% right here should have iron on it. This should have iron. Okay, this should have iron. It's called an iron saturation. Like what percent of your red blood cells have iron? So 15 to 50%. Now, the sweet spot, I mean, I would say is more like 35. But so you can see here, 50, this is the range, 15 to 50. Now she has just this small little spot right here, 15%. So then her red blood cells aren't delivering enough oxygen, and all this was missed. This wasn't addressed. This is why, when people come to me, we're looking at a whole body approach. We're trying to figure out what's actually getting to the problem, getting to the cause of the problem. Now, here's another case. Ferritin here is 11. Remember, this should be 40 to 80, if you recall that. She's at 11. Guess what? They told her, oh, it's a little low, but no big deal. Guess what she has? She has brain fog, brain fatigue. She has tremors. She has fatigue, right? You're going to have fatigue because you're not getting enough oxygen to your tissues. So at the end of the day, what I want you to get out of this video is like iron is very, very critical. Now, some people said, yeah, I went to the doctor. They said I had anemia and I started taking some supplements and I got constipated or it didn't work with me, right? The supplement that I took just didn't work. I didn't feel good. So if that's you out there, and you have some kind of poor iron status and you've tried taking like iron pills or supplements or whatever, and you just didn't agree with you, that's a whole nother problem that you want to try and figure out and solve, which I've helped many of those cases recover and get their iron status up to par. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this video, subscribe to my station, share it, give me a thumbs up. And just remember, is where there's help, there's hope. Take care. Bye-bye.